An accidental shooting sends a child to the hospital. What we know from police investigating this incident. Plus, closing arguments are about to begin and the trial for the father of the accused Appalachia high school shooter.
From temperatures into the 70s to the 60s and clouds all over the place. Have all the details on what you can expect for the next 7 days.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us here for the news at 12:30. I'm Faith Jesse. And we start with this today. President Donald Trump addressing the ongoing strikes in Iran. Less than an hour ago, the president gave remarks on the U.S. and Israel operation that led to the death of Iran's supreme leader. The president says it came after Iran's nuclear program was obliterated in a previous operation. President Trump says the country was warned not to try and rebuild it at a new location, but he says Iran refused and went ahead with building more nuclear weapons. Well, President Trump says that the nuclear program, it was growing rapidly, would pose a threat in the Middle East and far beyond.
An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat to the Middle East, but also to the American people. Our country itself would be under threat, and it was very nearly under threat.
President Trump says these operations in Iran will likely last 4 to 5 weeks, but he says he is prepared to go far longer than that if needed. We'll continue to follow this developing situation in Iran and bring you the updates as we get them. Well, right now we're learning more about a boy who was shot in DeKalb County. That child now recovering in the hospital. We know that this happened at Park at Somerset apartment complex just before 3 a.m. 11Alive Stephanie Haynock has new information about why police say this was an accidental shooting.
DeKalb County police tell me it was an accidental shooting that happened inside of an apartment behind me involving a 9-year-old boy and his older brother. This is a look back at the scene when officers first found the child suffering from a gunshot wound. The child was then rushed to the hospital and is now in stable condition. Investigators say the boy's 21-year-old brother, Christopher Fields, picked up a gun inside of the home to put it away when it was discharged, striking his younger brother in a nearby room. Fields was taken to DeKalb County Jail. Charges are expected. In DeKalb County, I'm Stephanie Haynock, 11Alive News.
Let's get a check of your 11Alive weather impact forecast. Meteorologist Danielle Moss joining us. Danielle, it was kind of spring summer over the weekend.
Exactly. And now we are looking more like winter once again, Faith. It's a little bit cooler out there. It's cloudy. We're tracking some rain showers in North Georgia, but all is not lost just yet. We are going to be seeing our temperatures rise very, very soon. Here's a look at our current satellite and radar. You can see that there is a lot of heavy rainfall north of Atlanta. And some of us, especially in North Georgia, are already seeing some of these showers really make it to the ground. This has been going on for at least the last 2 to 3 hours. So as you take a closer look at the rain over the last hour, we've been seeing this rain trend eastward just a little bit. We'll put a pause to it. We're starting to see northwest Georgia dry out just a little bit, but now East Georgia seeing some light to moderate rain showers. Here in Metro Atlanta, we are mostly dry, but that cloud cover has seeped in, and that's going to keep our temperatures on the cooler side for today. So just make sure that you are prepared for that. It's not going to be below average. It just will feel different from what we had yesterday. Here is a live look into Blue Ridge across the North Georgia mountains. Our temperatures here in Metro Atlanta, 70 degrees. So that's still very warm for this time of the year. But you can see that the 24-hour temperature change shows exactly where this wedge front's coming in from the east. Gainesville, 14 degrees cooler than what they were this time yesterday. Over the next 12 hours, we will actually keep warming into the low 70s. We'll be around 71 degrees at 3 p.m. And then overnight tonight, it will be a little bit warmer. In fact, those temperatures will be into the mid to upper 50s. So we are tracking some record warmth that will be on the way for us. Have more details on that coming up in my full forecast.
All right, a lot of people looking forward to that warmth. Danielle, thank you so much. Well, a place where it's not too warm, that is the Big Apple. But we brought a little warmth to it, to the Stock Exchange board members at the Metro Atlanta Chamber. They were in the Big Apple ringing the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It officially marks 100 days until the FIFA World Cup, promoting Georgia as open for business here. So much excitement there. You see the guys and girls on the stage. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, Governor Brian Kemp, his wife Marty Kemp, all along with members of the chamber there ringing this bell. So much excitement coming to Georgia and, of course, New York, where they'll be hosting some matches too. But back here at home, U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock, he is visiting social circles, standing with local leaders after they say that they were blindsided for plans for a new ICE detention facility. Warnock is pushing back against a proposed warehouse sites in Social Circle as well as Oakwood, arguing that these centers would strain local resources and infrastructure. 11Alive's Molly Oak was there as Warnock took the tour of the area and talked to leaders about the impact on the area. We'll hear more about this visit coming up on 11Alive News at 4 o'clock. Well, moments ago, former Atlanta mayor and longtime civil rights leader Andrew Young, he addressed crowds in front of the casket of his former colleague and friend, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Lines formed early this morning outside South Carolina State Capitol in Columbia with members of the public, elected officials, and faith leaders all there to pay their respects. Ambassador Young, he stood alongside Jackson during some of the most pivotal moments of the civil rights movement. He didn't hold back in honoring Jackson's decades of activism, presidential campaigns, and global human rights work. We are learning more about the arrest at the Atlanta beltline by Atlanta police after a planned teen takeover there. We know 14 people were arrested, 10 guns recovered. APD says a 15-year-old girl released to her parent who was then charged with a curfew violation. Well, just the weekend before, several people were arrested during a similar takeover up at the Battery. The University of Georgia instructor at the center of a viral confrontation. We've learned that he was fired, barred from campus, and he's left the country. Take a look at this video. You might have seen this on social media. It did go viral. It shows an independent group confronting this instructor during a class just last week. That group showed copies of sexually explicit messages they say that he sent to someone that he believed was a 14-year-old boy. So we are blurring this instructor's face because he is not facing any charges at this time. But we do know that UGA says that the instructor was on a limited term contract. He left the country late Tuesday night. The next day, university police, they searched his home, recovering what they call additional evidence. Authorities say a criminal investigation is now underway.
Well, we are looking at potential record-breaking temperatures as we wrap up this work week. Are you ready for it? I have all the details coming up after the break. Well, today has definitely been a very cloudy day. We're a little bit cooler than what we were this time yesterday, but overall the forecast isn't too bad. As you take a look into our satellite and radar, we are monitoring this system that is northward of Atlanta. You can see rain moving through Tennessee, portions of the Carolinas, even into Virginia, even some wintry mix up into Ohio. We're not dealing with that. In fact, we're looking at much warmer temperatures after this front and the wedge move out of here. Right now, that wedge is keeping us nice, cloudy and cool. Over the next few hours, this rainfall will slack up just a little bit, and not everyone's seeing rain, as you can see. In fact, if we put a pause to it and zoom in just a little bit, most of that rain is being isolated into East Georgia, Northeast Georgia to be very specific. And here in Metro Atlanta, we are just looking at normal cloud cover. And in fact, south of Forest Park, moving through Peachtree City and McDonough, there's a lot of sunshine down there, so those temperatures are slightly warmer. In fact, you can see exactly where this front is impacting those temperatures. As you take a look at our current temperatures right now, 61 degrees in Blairsville, 53 in Clayton. They're getting some pretty good rain right now. Light rain in Nature. 70 here in Metro Atlanta, but it's 73 in LaGrange, Thomaston, as well as Eatonton. So it's definitely warmer where there are less clouds. Over the next 4 hours, our temperatures will be starting to fall. I know that's soon. But at 5 p.m., we're looking at temperatures here 69 degrees. Now, a lot of people were outside enjoying the beautiful weather yesterday, but if you suffer from allergies, you're definitely feeling it today. We have a higher pollen count. It's really in the moderate range, but that tree pollen is really the culprit. And that's because it was so nice yesterday, not much breeze, so it's definitely going to be impacting us. Here's the deal. The cloud cover will keep that pollen a little bit lower, but as we go throughout the rest of the week, we are anticipating that pollen count will escalate. So just make sure you're prepared. Maybe start taking your allergy medicine ahead of time. Let's take a look at our forecast track. What can you expect for the rest of today going into tomorrow? We will continue to see this cloud cover sticking around for this evening. Yes, some light rain showers could be embedded in that. By 9 p.m., that rain still kind of continuing. It's just that nuisance light rain. We're not looking at any severe weather, not even any thunderstorms, but it's going to just keep us a little bit cooler. Now, overnight tonight, we'll start to see some increase in cloud cover that will cover the entire area. So while we're sitting nice into the 70s today, we could be seeing a little bit of a difference for tomorrow. That cloud cover will impact our temperatures here in Metro Atlanta and some of our southern counties. You can see Eatonton maybe at 66 degrees for your Tuesday. This is all a part of that wedge front. You can see that green coming right on into Metro Atlanta. That's that cloud cover coming in from the east. And as you take a look at that forecast track, the cloud cover will be thick throughout the day tomorrow. So will be a gloomy start, but then we'll have increased sunshine and seeing decreasing clouds throughout the afternoon hours for your Tuesday. And then by Tuesday night, it will be nice and mostly clear. That's going to allow our temperatures to bump up really, really nicely for midweek and heading into the weekend. As you take a look at our current rain chances, Friday and Saturday, there's a 20% chance for rain. Here's the deal. We're not looking at any heavy rain, but I think we're getting into this spring-like weather pattern where our temperatures will be well above average, but that's going to keep some moisture in. So we could be seeing some spotty showers on your Thursday, maybe even some for your Friday nights, and then once again for your Saturday. Now, for your Sunday, it looks like most of the heavy rain will stall out, and we start to see some drying skies as we head into that Sunday. But once again, moisture coming back into the area as we have another sagging front that will be coming through for late Monday night. So we have a few rain chances on the board for the next 7 days. We're not looking at any severe weather as of right now, but we could be seeing some heavy downpours for sure. So just something that we're going to keep our eye on, especially with those temperatures being so warm. In fact, as we take a look at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, this shows that even going into next week, our temperatures will still be well above average. So definitely seeing some warmer temperatures, even though we are anticipating some rain showers. So warm that we could be maybe even tying or breaking some records for this weekend. I'm thinking Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, maybe even Sunday will be a good chance for us to see some of those records either broken or at least tied. Friday is a good day for that. You can see the record is 80 degrees and the forecast is 80 degrees as well. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast for you. 67 degrees tomorrow because of that cloud cover. We're not expecting any rain showers for your Tuesday, but by Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be back into the upper 70s. Friday through this weekend, it's going to be a warm one, 80 degrees, maybe some spotty showers, really setting us up for a spring-like pattern to wrap up this week and get into the weekend. It's not going to be a loss, so you don't have to cancel your weekend plans. Just make sure you have your rain gear handy as you prepare for your Saturday and Sunday. Hey, keep it right here. We'll be right back with more news right after the break.
Hey, well, some of the country's top distance runners, they are hoping for justice after a major mishap at the Atlanta Publix Half Marathon on Sunday. So as the front runners for the women's race were on their second to last mile, a paced vehicle, it went off course. Those three runners followed the car a little over half a mile out of the way before getting back on the course. So the impacted runners, they are now outlining this controversy on social media. They are hoping things are made right here. And the top three finishers of this race, this is a big deal because they qualify for a spot on Team USA for the World Athletics Road Running Championships. USA Track and Field posted a statement saying that the team is not selected until May, so they will take these events into consideration. The Atlanta Track Club is conducting a full review of this. In a statement, that CEO said in part, "I take full responsibility for what occurred. Athletes should never have to have a split-second decision between following a pace vehicle or trusting the official course." And while those three runners contest the results, several other runners are now qualified for the World Championships in Denmark. On the women's side, Molly Bourne, Carrie Elwood, and Andy Rodenfels, they were the top three finishers. For the men, it was Wesley Kiptoo, Hillary Bohr, and Ahmed Muhammad, all of them celebrating together after qualifying. More than 8,000 runners participated in the marathon weekend. And among the thousands of runners out there, we also had some here at 11Alive that were out there on the race. Take a look here. Angelina Salcido crossing the finish line yesterday after prepping for months for this race. She said she was nervous and anxious before the race, but we can see that she finished strong. A big congratulations to her. And I also went out there. I don't know why, but I participated and we finished. It was happy, very, very happy to see that finish line. I was like, thank God. My friends and family were out there as well. It was very hard. Also, Reams Landreth, our producer here, and his fiance, they were out there. So many of you watching, we know that you were there too. So thank you so much for working hard. Hey guys, stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. There may finally be some relief in the housing market. For the first time in more than 3 years, the average 30-year fixed mortgage has dipped below 6%. So the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation, better known as Freddie Mac, officially shows that rate at 5.98%. We know that rates were around 6.7% a year ago, meaning savings for buyers today. Well, let's head in right now to that trial, the Colin Gray murder trial, where the prosecution and defense are set to give their closing arguments. We're going to take a look inside that courtroom and listen in.
41 seconds. On September 4th at 10:22 in the morning, Colt Gray opened fire in Appalachia High School for 41 seconds. Those 41 seconds forever altered the lives of the students of Appalachia High School, their parents, and everyone in this community. At 10:22 a.m., Christian acted and became a hero. He attempted to push the shooter out of his classroom, and when he was shot, Christian's last act on this earth was to shut the door to his classroom to protect his friends. In Ms. Ryan's room, the teachers and students acted. Ronaldo ensured the door was barricaded, and Landon held Taylor's hand when she needed someone. Ariana tried to keep Taylor awake, and Miss Ryan attempted to put a tourniquet on Natalie's arm and comforted her. Miss Irmy acted. Her last act on this earth was to push her door shut to protect her students. When the shooting started, Coach Aspinwall acted. He went outside his classroom to see if he could help. Coach Phoenix acted. After being shot, he crawled back into his room and used his last bit of strength to shut his classroom door to protect his students. Valerie Lancaster acted. She used her training from Girl Scouts and stopped the bleed to save Coach Phoenix's life. And Sweet Mason, he didn't even have the opportunity to act. On September 4th at 10:22 a.m., SRO Donovan Boyd yelled into his radio, "Active shooter."
Active shooter. Active shooter. What? Active shooter in Appalachia High School.
And at that moment, every law enforcement in Barron County and every law enforcement officer near Barrow County acted. 58 agencies and 400 law enforcement officers came to Barrow County to answer the call for help. Within a minute of hearing those first shots, SROs Boyd and King took the shooter into custody and saved Zane Zinni's life. He was in that last hallway seconds from being shot by Colt Gray. Sheriff Judd Smith and Lieutenant Wilkerson acted. Sheriff Smith was one of the first responders and helped get Natalie to EMS quickly. And Lieutenant Wilkerson did everything he could to save Ms. Irmy's life. And the incredibly quick response by EMS and law enforcement saved the lives of Coach Phoenix, Natalie, Taylor, and Melanie. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of those 41 seconds, the sense of security that this school and this community once had was shattered. But also in the aftermath of those 41 seconds, a community united, heroes emerged. Parents from all backgrounds came together on the football field to try and find and embrace their children. And every person in this community wanted to know one thing: who did this and how did this happen? Everyone except for that man, the defendant, Colin Gray. He was not asking that question because he knew exactly who had done this and how this happened.
God. I knew it when my little girl just texted me. She's in middle school. She said, "We're in lockdown." I'm like,
All right, you were listening to the prosecution giving closing arguments in the trial of Colin Gray. He is the father of the accused shooter in the Appalachia High School mass shooting, Colt Gray. He is on trial because he's accused of knowingly giving his son Colt a weapon when he was not supposed to have it. And he is, Colt, of course, accused of shooting up that school. The defense is set to give their closing arguments today, and a jury will make a decision in this case. Stay with us. We will have a final check of your forecast right after this break.
All right, here's a look at our satellite and radar. It's definitely a cloudy, gloomy day, and there are some very light rain showers in East Georgia. Some of that rain's not actually making it to the ground, but just make sure you have your rain gear handy just in case. Here's another look at that 7-day forecast for you. 67 degrees for your Tuesday. That's tomorrow. Today we're already into the 70s, but the cloud cover should be keeping us a little bit cooler for tomorrow. Then be back into the upper 70s, going into the 80s as we wrap up the work week. Friday through Monday looks like one of those spring-like setups where it's definitely going to be warmer, well above average.